Okay, let's talk about some of your roles real quick.
Okay.
Or in high school, Tamaki. What?
I have an unnatural love affair for Tamaki. No, I have to tell you the truth. You know how voice acting is. A lot of times you'll get called into audition for something and you have no idea what it is. You know nothing about the show. Oran High School was the first show, and I had done probably 150 shows at that point. But Oran was the first show that somebody gave me a disc of the first 8 episodes before it was even licensed. And they said, OMG, you have to watch this. So I watched it and I fell in love with Tamaki Suo. And I thought, oh my gosh, I would love to play this character. But you guys need to understand, and Tony, you'll understand this, it wasn't even licensed yet. Which means there was no way of knowing that any of us would ever get the chance to be in it. If it got licensed in Canada, we wouldn't even get the chance to audition. But as fate would have it, it was licensed by Funimation, and I went into that audition terrified because I had placed so many eggs in that basket of wanting to play this character, and I loved him so much. And Caitlin Glass, who directed it, I'll never forget. I went in and she said, all right, we know who you want to audition for. Go ahead. And so I went in and I did my best Tamaki Suo. And as soon as I was done, she shot an arrow through my heart when she said, all right, is there anything else you want to audition for?
Ouch.
Yeah, so I read for a couple. I read for one of the twins, and I read for Kyoya. But like I said, I'm so grateful because I loved Oran. I savored every line of recording Oran High School because when I got to play Tamaki, I was so excited. So that's one of my favorites.
How about Ichuru with Vampire Knives?
I got a story to tell on Eric Sherman, who runs Bang Zoom. You guys, and my sweet Michelle is sitting here. She was a witness to the whole escapade. I auditioned for several characters in Vampire Knight. I auditioned for Aido. I auditioned for Yagari and Zero and Kaname. I think I read for Kaname. But then we all went to Christmas break. And Michelle and I were at her parents' house in Colorado. And I was holding on to my phone like this, hoping that an 818 number would come up on my phone. And suddenly, I got a voicemail notification. And I was like, what? It didn't even ring! How did I miss the call? And it was a voicemail, and I looked at the number, and it was from Bang Zoom. It was from an 818, and I pushed the button to listen to the voicemail, and I heard, hey Vic, this is Eric Sherman at Bang Zoom. And I looked at Michelle and I said, here it is. It's either yes or no. And I stood there, and Eric said, Vic, I know how much you were excited and hoping to get to be a part of Vampire Knight. And he said, I promise you, man, we will work together someday. I don't want you to be disappointed because I know you really were excited about this show. Am I lying? I started crying. I did. I was standing there. What did I say? I'm like, I didn't get anything. I'm not going to be a part of it at all. And I was really upset. And I'm still listening to Eric's message. And he goes, I promise you we'll get to work together someday. In fact, we're going to get to work together very soon because you'll be playing Zero and Ichiro. I just about had a heart attack. I just about did. And you know what's funny about that, Eric? I had no idea who Ichiro was at the time. He said Zero and Ichiro, and I'm like, honey, I played Zero. Who the heck is Ichiro? And that's how I found out he had a twin brother. And that was really fun, you guys. Most actors will tell you, there's not many things more fun than playing opposite yourself, and being able to play characters that actually interact and fight and shoot each other, and all those kind of nice brotherly things.
All right, so I can't do a list of characters without talking about Edward. So tell us about it. How do you approach creating a role like that? I mean, he's such a powerful character for you.
You know, for the longest time whenever I was in a panel and somebody would say, what's your favorite character that you played? I would always give the political response. Well, I love all my characters. They're like my children. I could never pick one. And then something happened. The last 2 episodes of Brotherhood. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm done. That's it. I can no longer resist the tractor beam that is Edward Elric. And you know, when you consider a lot of anime series are like 26 episodes, and then you're done. And if you're lucky, you may get in a Dragon Ball Z or a you know, or a Bleach or a Inuyasha or a Naruto or some show that's like hundreds of episodes. But for the most part, they're gone in 26 episodes.
Sometimes 13.
And if you're lucky, 52 or so. Well, I've played Edward Elric for 52 episodes of the first series, the movie, the OVAs, the video games, and then as luck would have it, 64 more episodes of Full Metal Brotherhood. And I don't know if you know this, but there is a Brotherhood movie coming out. So after playing a character so wonderful for so long, I love that little pipsqueak. I do. He is, you know what, I've said this before, and you'll understand this. There really aren't many Edward Elrics. There aren't many characters like that. They're flawed, but they're noble. They're loyal, but they're frightened. They're uncertain, but they're arrogant. I mean, you know what I mean? There's so many elements to their personality. And when they're that well fleshed out, it's like a dream to get to play a character like that. And so I will forever be grateful. When I auditioned for Full Metal, I didn't even know anything about that show. I knew nothing. And I went into audition, and I was literally looking through the audition sides to see what characters I thought I might have a chance of playing. I looked at Armstrong, and I'm like, well, I'm never going to get cast as Armstrong. I don't have that kind of voice, like you know, that big booming voice. And so I was looking through it, and I kind of zeroed in on Ed, and for all I knew, he had 10 lines. I had no idea what his role was in the show. And so I am so grateful to God for the chance to be a part of Full Metal. It's been a really, really wonderful experience for me. And thank you guys for being so supportive of it. Thank you so much. You know what else? Full Metal Alchemist was the first series I ever did where I started getting threat mail before we even recorded it. You know, you're in the middle of something serious when you start getting emails that said, "Hey Vic, I heard you're playing Edward Elric in Full Metal. Don't screw it up." I'm serious. I started getting those, and that was when I first realized, oh my gosh, this might be like really serious. This got a fan base of people that are very passionate about this show, and so when you guys received it so well, and it turned out so well, from writing to acting to music to everything about the show, I was so grateful to be a part of it, and thank you for being a part of it.
Well, yes, please. So taking this into the realm of adventures in voice acting and voice acting, roles like Edward are very multi-layered. There's a lot of different aspects to them. How do you approach finding those layers? I mean, do you deal with the internal of the character first, what they look like, and what kind of advice would you give aspiring voice actors here regarding how you come up with and approach getting to a character?
Well, you guys, you've probably heard this said before, but the key word in voice acting is acting. It's not voice. It's not about making a funny voice. It's not even about sounding like a young kid. Because if your acting skills are not strong, then it doesn't matter how good your voice sounds. in a very, very short while, people are going to be like, oh, I'm not really feeling it, you know? This performance is falling flat, you know? And there are a lot of people out there who can imitate great character voices, and they have a lot of fun voices that they can do. But if you're interested in voice acting, acting experience and training is really the most important thing. I don't have the kind of voice that I'm ever going to be a radio DJ. You know, I don't have that kind of a slick, resonant, rich radio kind of a voice.
What are you trying to say?
That I'm not Tony Oliver. But what all of the actors that I know have is a huge amount of experience in acting. Everybody I know, literally, of the 100 voice actors I know, I can think of 2 that never had any actual stage experience. Some of us have degrees in theater, and a lot of us do a lot of different things on stage and on camera. It's all acting. Voice acting is merely acting with a different set of tools than a stage actor might use or a screen actor might use. But when I approach any character, to me it's all about the relationships of that character with the other characters. And it's not about a voice. It's about playing the character honestly. You know what I mean? There were times during Full Metal when I would be doing a very emotionally packed line, and I would do it, and we would play it back, and I would listen to it, and I would say, I would say to the director, can I do it one more time? My voice got a little bit low. And it kind of lost that Edward Elric sound, you know? And he said, oh my God, no, we're not touching that performance. That line had a great deal of impact and emotion to it. So it's so much more about being able to communicate the emotion of the character than it is being able to maintain a particular voice styling or impression.
Well, then why don't we give some folks a chance to try that?
I think we should do that right now.
All right, I'm gonna go down and pick some more. While I'm picking 4 people, I want you to tell me a little bit about your song Soldier A.
Well, you guys, one thing that every voice actor will tell you is that we are always called upon to play characters that have like maybe one line and then they die. Sometimes they don't even speak. They just yell and then they get blown up. And those characters have become affectionately known as Soldier A characters. They're not even important enough to have a name, pretty much. So, oh yeah, plenty of those. And so one day I was in a recording studio, and I'd finished recording the show that I was doing, and the director said to me, hey, we've got you for a couple of more minutes. Why don't you let me fill in a couple of spaces with you? He said, we need to get some of these other things plugged in here, like turn to page 26 and you're going to play Soldier A. So I went to the script, page 26, and it was literally, that's all it was. I mean, the guy gets blown up. So while I was waiting, good call. While I was waiting, I started making up this little song. It was like, Soldier A, Soldier A. I was trying to take some pride in playing Soldier A. Like the unsung hero of anime. And I recorded my little scream and die, and then I left. And I came back a week later, and the director said, thanks a lot, Vic. I'm like, what? And he said, we have not been able to get out of our heads. Soldier! So as a songwriter, I'm thinking, hey, that means it's a good song, because you can't get it out of your brain. So I wrote the whole song out, and it's available on one of my CDs, and we recorded it with a couple of other voice actors. And in fact, I'd like to invite you guys to come to my concert tomorrow. Please come and hang out, and if you don't have a ticket, that's okay. I invite you anyway. And I think you'll have a good time. You'll have fun things to share.
I love Soldier A. I love that. So you play it for me and throw on the chair. So.
One year, Steve Blue made copies of it, and Steve made copies of it, and he sent it out to producers in a Christmas basket.